Welcome to the spin. Man, it's already July, halfway through the year. So
I never think of it that way, but you're right.
Yeah.
Do you know we are closer to 2050 than 2000?
That is true. That
I
is
already
true.
did.
Did you also know that we've done, this is number 117 shows.
What a weird number to remark.
Yeah. I know. Spin just found this out. He wants to share it with the world.
That's right.
What had you looking into that?
Boys Interrupted were like, we're on episode 24, 25. I was like, dude, we've gone way longer than that. So let's just see where we're at. And
we should pick an arbitrary number to celebrate.
134.
No, it'd be 234.
It's got to be out there a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know.
How about like 177?
It's as good a number as any. That's like October 7th.
There we go. But let's make a think of it. Like, come celebrate our 177th episode, and you know what I mean. And like, I'm saying, like,
right around this time next year,
we make posts about it. Be like, guys, it's gonna be so much fun. The 177, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like 177. Like we can like make like little things about it, and then and when people ask, what is that for?
Yeah, to be there.
There'll be no reason. It'd be like it's 177th episode, man. I don't know what to tell you.
I mean, it's the same number as 200. No different.
Right.
So anyway, if you guys were wondering why we were late, it was not John's fault. It was also not Tyler's fault. It was me trying to get ready. So I did have, before we get into the viewer comments, a couple things. First, you'll see the viewer of the week, Lee Frazier, had a pretty big week last week. She was just dropping $9.99 all over us. So I felt like Lee needed to be recognized this week. So
she had to sell her phone, so she can't watch this weekend to recover from all the money she gave us last week.
Feel free to keep it up, Lee. No. Yeah. I mean, I think you should take pride in like being the 8th reigning week of viewer of the week. You know what I'm saying? We get to show 177 and celebrate Lee's 52nd week of the being top viewer of the week. Yeah.
I mean, you never know. You get somebody else drops money, might dethrone Lee. But Pool Boy, does that make you guys feel like strippers?
No,
I felt like that before. This doesn't feel like that.
Yeah, I would agree. And then secondly, I just found out that my oldest son, who just started going to a CrossFit affiliate a few weeks ago, actually last week was his first time going. He threw up today on the way home. So
was a bike involved?
What'd he do?
It was
the old Echo bike, Tyler.
It was a 16-minute EMOM of 20 calorie Echo bike, 200-foot D-ball bear hug carry, 20 calorie Echo bike, and 15 GHD sit-ups.
Oh yeah.
Nothing makes people throw up quite like that bike does. It's kind of wild, the tolerance that you have to build.
The D-ball carry too, like it's just all compression. You're never letting off, and then you get on the bike, it's bad. And then the GHD, you're like, the whole time.
So like when I train people, usually like I get high school kids who want me to like train them and stuff, and then the very first workout we ever do is every 2 minutes for 5 sets, 20 cal bike, but that bike has to be done in a minute. It has to be done under the minute, and they don't know what it is. They don't know how long they don't know you could just hold 70 and that's going to be it. But they just take off, and without fail, I'm like 9 for 9 in kids throwing up in this workout. And then if they want to come back, then I know they're ready to work hard. There's been about, I would say it's about like a 33% stick around rate, but those 33%, they're going to be great. Those 66%, they don't have it. They don't have it mentally, and that's okay. It's good to know that about yourself.
That's probably a pretty good ratio, though.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
like 33%. If you're hanging on to that many, I would assume like you lose 66% on average anyway, and you're just weeding them out the first day.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want that 66%. If you can't take it, then you don't need to be here. There's an Orange Theory down the road. We're here to be great.
You walk them outside. Hey, buddy,
Yeah.
I know
No,
where
no,
you.
no.
you
There
Why
is
don't you
no,
go hold your heart rate
there
at
is no buddy.
130?
There is no buddy. I'm like, hey, if you want to come back, we'll be great. If you don't want to come back, you're never going to be great ever.
Lee Frazier, leader in the clubhouse, $9.99. Love you guys. Thank you for the support, Lee.
Thank you, Lee.
Thank you,
He
Lee.
is well on our
Love you
way to
too.
becoming the viewer of the week for next
two
week.
times running.
Right.
And I mean, hey, and no judgment. Listen, if you don't want to be great, there is no judgment over here.
That's right.
But if
We
a
don't
zombie
judge
apocalypse
anybody.
happens, my people are going to murder your people, and it's not going to be hard.
That's fair. That is fair. Let's move on. Viewer comments. Oh, I need to take off our names. Why? That's because Tyler was a dumbass last week.
It switched back. I didn't change it.
No, I changed it to show
must-
everybody off,
Oh.
and I just never took it back. Viewer comments. Your reminder to subscribe. You can like if you want. Drop a comment down for next week's inclusion. But
Please subscribe.
we're very, very close to 10,000. We've been talking about it for about 107 shows, and we're still not there. It happens. All right, first one, Kate Kammeyer. Where is Moritz? Did I miss him on the mountain?
No, he's not there.
Well, you did. He's because he's not there.
He's not on
he
the
wasn't.
mountain.
He wasn't climbing that day. I tell you what. After,
Hey, at least he was not in the DEI class.
yeah, no, he's too good to be in the DEI class. You know, he's there. He's going to be at the games, but you know, he's probably going to get 30. It's only 30 people. I keep wanting to go like 30.
30th, wow.
He's probably going to get 27th in event 1, and it's not going to be the only event that tests endurance out. There was no endurance tested in Wadland at all. So, no.
There are moments where Moritz, I'm like, there's something there. But then he'll follow it right up with some backslide that I'm like, yeah, never
You
mind.
mean like semifinals every year?
When aerobic capacity is your worst thing, is your weakest thing in all of the things of fitness, I don't respect you as like a contender. As like you don't belong on the mountain type guy. You've earned your spot to be there. You can be there all day. You're games out. You're one of the fittest men in the world. I'll never say you're not. But if aerobic capacity is one of your weakest things, same for the women. That's why I always give Annika crap. You're never going to be like, I'm not gonna look at you in the same light of the people that are great at aerobic capacity.
I don't think this is true. Keeping it real, I could almost beat Moritz in a mile.
Well, he's talking about the game's mile because I think his mile time was like 6:40.
Dude runs a 6:40 mile.
But you know, also I think if you know you're going to be last place, he wasn't. Like if you know you're going to be last,
Yeah.
why would you sell your soul?
He and Grieshaber were fighting for the back.
Yeah,
So,
that 6:40 is probably more like 6:15 all out.
yeah, I would agree with that. He had to save himself for the star-shaped sandbag.
Now I know who CrossFit is. It just made sense to me.
Okay, that's cool.
I know you now.
Said something wrong.
You
Fair enough.
slipped up, buddy.
We would never see CrossFit again. Brielle Brozier, I can't believe hobby horse riding wasn't one of the niche sports in blind rankings. I'd love to listen to you all commentating hobby horse riding.
There's no chance in hell.
Yeah,
I mean, you're going to get a lot of hot takes.
it ain't gonna be good.
I think if we commentated horse riding, we would not be asked to commentate horse riding anymore or horse hobby riding.
Horse hobby riding.
They're not ready for whatever we would say. Like, you know, honestly, I wouldn't even want to commentate it. That's something for Sevon, and then I would just enjoy the show.
Yeah, if you want to visit Nashville, go to CrossFit West Nashville. You might see Mrs. Spin there. So there you go. Let's see. Mariah Adams. I never understood the mountain. I
No.
will probably never fully understand the mountain, but I can respect that this mountain is not biased.
Look, he's trying to make us think this is JR. It's not. It's not JR. we know who it is. You're
You just
done.
doubled down.
And by the way,
why I know it's
by
you.
the way, like shame on you. You're so mean to me, and like that's I really wish you weren't this person, because now I'm not gonna come on your show anymore. That's what's gonna happen to that.
Better.
That's
I don't even know who you're talking about. You'll have to fill me in later. I'm not sure. Let's see. Line dancing Maz. Does Tia beat all of the men in event 1?
no.
Ricky.
The row takes too much. I was like men versus women. The row will be too much of a gap. I think if the row was like
runners.
I think if the row was scaled to the two women, then no, I don't think anybody beats her.
Does Tia make it to the rower first?
No. I just don't think she's not going to run as fast as Jeff and Ricky.
Because she doesn't have to, or because she can't?
No, I don't think she can.
Can we make that a prop bet in Heat 1? How do I write that? If we give Tia Tia plus 2 minutes.
Just say who could what?
Here's the thing.
Which one? To the rower first?
Jeff held a 5:55 for 3 miles. We know this because he did it last year before he got to the lake, right? He held a 5:55. Tia's mile time was 5:30. Now, I know she's faster, but she's not sub 5 minute speed, right? Ricky's sub 5 minute speed. You throw any swimming at all, Tia's winning because she's that much better of a swimmer, and them straight up, she's not that far off on running, right? She's like 20 seconds off on running, but she didn't get that much faster on running versus those guys. At least I don't think so. So I don't think she'll be the first to the rower. I do think only like 4 or 5 guys will be ahead of her.
There it is. How many men beat Tia to the rower?
Literally the best
now.
It is
so
yeah, that's a beautiful product.
I'm amazing.
You didn't even say it.
No, I'm talking about knowing who it is. It's all lining up now.
Oh, I know. Now it's like, how do you not know this is not this person? I'm so disappointed.
There's a couple prop bets there. Revelation. There's 2 minutes. Tia plus 2 minutes beats the field still, yes or no? Or there's the rower. How many men get to the rower before Tia? Over, under?
5.
5?
5 get to the rower before Tia?
I think all the good men runners beat her. Like the elite good run. So you have Jeff and Ricky, but then there's like 3 guys after that. Yeah. There's like
He's really excited about this.
There's like 3 guys after Jeff and Ricky, like your Roman, your Hopper, your Hatfield, your James. Like that's 4 right there. I think those guys beat her to the rower as well. But I think she's in that group. She's running with them. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
I think she's going to go out there and just show how fast she is.
Oh, I hope
because she could blow up at the 2K or on the 3K row and walk the last 2 miles and still win. So might as well
for
just
sure.
like
try to yeah. No, that would be great. And then in that case, the answer would be 2. I don't think this should be I think it should be like 0 to 2, 2 to 4, 4 to 7, 7 plus. Like I think that's
like a 4 pick.
Yes, yes. I think that's what it should be because
that would work.
I like that one. There are a couple prop bets in the Heat 1 app already. If you have downloaded it, these are pretty good. There's one in particular I'm very excited about talking about later.
Cool. All right. So thanks, Line Dancing Maz, for that prop bet. Corey Treharn, Apollo Creed died in an exhibition might be one of the best explanations for why it matters. Go back and watch last week if you didn't. And
that totally out of context.
And Andrew Farmer, this week in Murfreesboro, The Burrow Bar and Grill is closing its doors after 40 years as the owner, Lee Roberts, 76, is retiring. Congratulations to Lee.
I can make it to Murfreesboro. When?
Huh? I don't know. It just says it is closing after 40 years. I don't know the date. Maybe it's already
stay
closed.
here for your Murfreesboro news.
That's right. Big fans of Murfreesboro. Tyler's hate. I don't know what this is.
Yeah, I don't know what it is either.
All I know is that Tyler was like, I want to rage. I am mad. I hate stuff. And I said, go for it, King. It's all yours. I'm not gonna deny you your rage.
I didn't like that at all, Spin.
I love it. Keep saying that.
You short king, you.
I would qualify as a short king.
Oh, I thought you said for the game.
For the games. I also would qualify for the games.
Too.
A lot of this. So we're always thinking about content, about what's coming next, what we're going to do. And a couple weeks ago, I started thinking about games programming.
Most of the time we figured this out like
last
minute. Yeah.
I've really been baking about this for about 2 years. That's how long it takes something to bubble up for me.
Shaking and baking.
The title of this segment was supposed to be Tyler Hates the Games.
Oh, Spin messed up.
That's okay. Tyler's hate is fine. So it felt a little weird because I didn't want to go off of what you, Chase, Bill, and JR did today, because it was very like on point of what I wanted to cover.
That was a good show.
Games.
What do we do?
It was great. No, it was good. It was good. It was just like
4 things you want to see and what 4 things you don't want to see.
Yeah, that was a great show. And it's funny because you guys basically, without knowing it, hit a lot of the points that I wanted to hit. So where this all started, this really got kicking last week.
Bacon.
Yeah.
Preheated.
This really got bacon.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it started to boil over. I saw this reel on Instagram, and Hiller and I have been talking a lot about content styles, different things to do. And this guy, I guess he's a YouTuber, pops up and he's like, I don't want to make content anymore where I'm just sitting here like this. I want to go out and I want to make stuff like Mythbusters, where you go out and you investigate, people learn stuff. It gets people interested in going out and doing things. It's interesting and it motivates you. It inspires you to do more. So
like Craig Ritchie circa 2017.
Is that what he did?
He just kind of did a blog.
He vlogged and traveled all over and met with everybody.
That's not what he's talking about.
Yeah.
He's talking about like Dude Perfect.
Trick shots.
Yeah, but like they are in very
trick shots off an airplane.
What's the fish guy? What's the monster fish hunter?
I think that's his name.
Cale Lehman?
Monster. No.
Oh, okay.
That guy. The guy who used to go out and catch big fish. Like he would go out to like the Amazon and do his thing.
I think Dude Perfect was a better.
No, because it's like watching that guy, I was like, oh, I want to go out to the Amazon and catch fish.
Okay. Go do it then.
River Monsters, Jeremy Wade.
River Monsters. Yeah.
Ray
or
Meeks.
even Bear Grylls. Like, I want to go out in the middle of the woods and see if I can live with just a fishing pole. That'd be cool. Anyway.
I support your endeavor, Tyler.
The way this all starts, and I know you guys know this, but I want to fill in the fans. Are you guys familiar with Eric Weinstein's theory of geometric unity and how that breaks down string theory and how that ruined physics? Are you familiar with this, right?
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
Of course. For people who aren't familiar with this.
Eric Weinstein's string theory.
Squared. String theory squared. So, Eric, I'm always looking for stuff like this. Eric's hypothesis is that roundabout the time we started creating the atom bomb, we got obsessed with string theory. And we just started pouring all these scientists and all this money into string theory. And it has produced nothing in the past 50 years. There have been no advancements or technological advancements from string theory. Yeah, a little bit. But
I thought his whole thing was like dark energy and like everything's in a 4-dimensional space. And
no, that's Terrence Howard.
All right, I think it's Eric
Terrence.
Weinstein, but
No.
okay.
Geometric unity is about going back to geometry. That's where we were making a lot of our success and saying, hey, we were killing it right here. Let's get back to that and stop funding this stupid shit that's not doing anybody any good. Of course, he's gotten a lot of pushback. So this is what I think happened to the games. Because along with string theory, he thinks that string theory was pushed so that we don't further understand physics better. We use it. It's a red herring. We start chasing it instead of investigating other physics that matter more. There's all these things where if you focus on the thing for too long, you're just building that thing and you lose the entire picture of what's going on. So back to the inspirational piece. I've been aggravated with where the games have been going because none of the events, but a lot of the events do not inspire me. And if they do not inspire me, they're not inspiring people at home. They don't want to go out. They don't want to try these things. If you see the capital or the crit, there's something innate that you look at that and you're like, yeah, I can do that. I might not be able to do it fast, but I can try it. But when you see 21-15-9 of some CrossFit, thrusters, pistols, and some other bullshit, you're like, that doesn't mean anything to anyone except for CrossFitters.
It should be like a third of the games. Is that
3 events? No more than 3 events should be CrossFit events. So
I would say a third of the games, slightly 4.
This is where I
3
think
this year.
4. No, I'm with you 100%. I'm gonna let you keep going, but I'm with you. I think I'm with you. I think your strength theory is kind of like a little bit weird, but I think I'm with you. I think I'm with
geometric unity. Anyway, so I think this is affecting everything, and we've not realized it because we like CrossFit and we like CrossFit events because we're CrossFitters, but that doesn't mean anything to people who are watching the TV. And so you want the games to draw people in. And the people like me who've been doing this for 13 plus years, you get a little tired of doing training pieces for training piece sake, right? If I'm doing some workout with, deadlifts and whatever else, and then I go to the games, that sucks. I've done this at home. I'm not doing this huge, grandiose, different thing where it's like, okay, we got to run, we got to bike 40 miles across 2 hours or 3 hours or whatever. That's huge. That's different. It's cool. And it means something to people who aren't CrossFitters. So I think when people see that on TV, they're events that are regular CrossFit events, they're less motivated to watch the games. They don't want to watch semifinals. Semifinal type athletes don't want to do that because they don't want to just go to semifinals and then do another CrossFit event. And it's the same thing as the open, as the scale or as scaling the workouts for the open division. We want to do shit that scares us and challenges us. We've done this in every part of CrossFit and no one's called it out yet. I was like, we've stopped inspiring people. We've stopped making them want to get out of the house, get scared, try new things. And so if I see more than 3 events that are CrossFit style, I'm done with the games. I'm just so tired of seeing that same old shit. Dave has killed this in the past. About 2015 through 2018-ish, the games were mostly...
I would even say 2020. Just because, the ranch stuff he did, I thought they were pretty innovative too.
Yeah, there were events there that were killer. Go ahead, Spin.
I still remember watching the dinners before the games every year where he would announce and bring out a paddleboard or bring out some element. I can't remember what it was in 2011. He brought out something to there, and like that stuff was cool.
There's always
going
to be something different that we have not done yet.
When I was sort of building this case, I was looking through all the games programming, and it used to be there were 4 or 5 big events that were like grandiose, huge, even like the berm run or Naughty Nancy, like when they ran up over the berm. Like even though that's CrossFit-y, it's simplified to a point where it looks cool. It means something to the viewer. They're seeing them do squats. They don't know what overhead squats are, but it makes more sense.
Isn't
But
it
then
the games are, you see things, you watch things at the games that are relatable, but you can't do.
yes.
Yeah. Like you should not. And I would say, again, I'm not as stringent as Tyler. I would say 60% to a third, because you still need CrossFit workouts, but they're always on Sunday. Like typically they would always be on Sunday, right? But everything else is just wild, off the wall. The fittest is tested by like a crazy different amount of tests that all test something different. Or even like when they use that the really low weights. I think it was just deadlifts, running, and muscle ups. With Josh Bridges, Dan Bailey, and Rich Froning were all in a race, but the weights were so low, it made it like a deficit because they were like metal tins that they were using. Like something like that just changes the stimulus to a way where people they're not prepared for that. So then it's just who's the fittest. Like it brings out adaptation.
There has to be, when looking at events, you need to be able to say
To push back, play devil's advocate.
that wasn't at the CrossFit Games.
Okay.
Thank you, Mason. Okay. But I mean, like, the idea behind the Gator push is, it is relatively, like, people can make sense of that one, even though it went terribly. It was administered poorly. It does make sense to people.
They weren't mad at the test.
No one was mad at the test. They were mad about what happened with
the idea.
Execution. Yeah. It was the execution of it.
And so this is like my theory of everything with CrossFit and how you get people taught. Because if you think back to those years where the games were really popping off, we had a lot of success. There were like 4 to 5 of those huge golden events that were like really cool to watch. They made sense to people, and more people wanted to do them because they were inspired.
But how do you go back to that though?
So that's
it's programming, dude. It's not. I don't think it'd be hard.
Yes,
I think it's more than that.
Spins hitting on something that, and that's why I want to talk about this now, is because what are they going to do when they're inside? And that's the problem right now, is that as we push for professionalization, we're just going inside, we're doing inside stuff, and we're doing all CrossFit stuff. We're making the CrossFit Games about CrossFitters, and it's not about that. It's about testing the fittest on earth. And CrossFit isn't fitness. It's a training methodology to make you the fittest on earth, but isn't fitness itself.
I mean, I brought it up on Get With The Programming, like today on the comments. We will never see another strongman sphere as long as it's inside.
Gonna be hard to do the slug, or not. What's the roll? The
snail.
You get my animals mixed up.
I mean, you can do it, but it
doesn't hit the same.
It's different. Yeah.
It doesn't hit the same. So there's something about outdoor events that really hit hard, or like there's some like grit to it that you don't have indoors.
It's a bigger space. You can have more to do. Like when you talk about Moritz and like, well, he's going to do poorly on the first event, and I'm sure there's going to be another long event that's like that. Are we sure?
Yeah.
But in a way that Moritz can't do well.
Yeah.
How do you do another one inside?
Moritz wouldn't do well in something like Mary.
He wouldn't do well whether it's a short Mary or the full time.
I'm like a 20-minute AMRAP. I'm saying of Mary, like they did that in 2019.
Yeah, but if it was a 10-minute AMRAP, he's still
he's doing so much better than he is a 20-minute AMRAP. I'm telling you that right now. Or like something like the triple G chipper. That's short. Moritz ain't doing good in that either. Like it's just like, if it's long capacity, he's not doing good. And you can do that with a whole bunch of stuff.
Here's the thing that you might not like, John. I don't think we should program Mary at the games. I don't think we should program DP at the games. I thought you might not.
I'm in complete agreement. I hated Mary when they did that.
Oh, okay.
I thought it was so dumb.
I think DT at the games is stupid. I don't get it. It means nothing to anybody except for us.
I might disagree with you on DT.
I think
this is the one I thought John would get pissed about.
I like hero workouts over girl workouts in the games because there's a little bit of meaning to it. Usually the workout's a lot longer. it tests you a little bit more. The girl workouts, it's just everybody's so good at the girl workouts that they're not hard anymore because the athlete's so much better. Yeah. Right. So then you have to put heavy on the end of it. And I think that's dumb. Right. Or you know what I'm saying? Like you
or
just
naughty on the front of it.
Or nasty or naughty or whatever. If you got to put an adjective on the workout, then maybe we should just make a different workout. Right. Even though Nasty Nancy is one of the greatest workouts all around fitness, in my opinion. But still, if you have to put an adjective in front of it, maybe we should just do a different workout. But most hero workouts, they're long or hard enough. I mean, you're testing endurance, but it's hard enough.
Why? Like when I see that, that's the stuff that I see that people are like, these stupid CrossFitters.
I mean, I think DT, first, it helps that it was outside in the tennis stadium. Again, I think outside makes that cool. I think doing a barbell cycling is something that others are not doing. Right. And so it does have that visual appeal on TV to watch it and be like, that's pretty cool. Like they're just throwing the weight around and it created some pretty good races in Carson.
Don't get me wrong. I think that there are ways to program barbell cycling. Like there was, what was it? The Muscle Up Clean and Jerk event 2017. Cool.
Four individual muscle ups into a clean ladder. But that, like, in my opinion, that's CrossFit.
Yeah. It is. It straddles that line for me where I'm like, okay, you could make a case, but it's still not great. Did I hate Chad last year?
Yes.
I think Chad was boring.
I think everybody hated Chad last year. Chad single-handedly ruined the entire games because you had to program around it.
But here's one that's – go ahead.
Yeah, that's true. And I think it was because they didn't progress up the field. It was just watching people. It was a lot like Mary from a visual standpoint of we just saw people stepping on boxes, right? Versus we had talked about, do they roll their box forward? Do they do things where they progress and you can see the race happening? That would have created some type of anticipation, like how close are they? We watch for it. Instead, we watch for 40 minutes and waiting for them to go. They got a hand in the air, got 5 reps left. Oh, Austin got a no rep. Sorry. Like that was it. Like that was, Ricky goes down. Other than that, like it was literally just watching 80 athletes or whatever number it was at that point, just go back and forth over and over again.
You didn't know where anyone was.
We didn't know where anything. It was.
John was texting people who were like on the floor to give us information about where people were.
Yeah.
How
about this one though, Tyler? JRW isn't the games for CrossFitters.
It's not. It is for the fittest on earth. It is our. This is the thing about making your.
Our whole thing is like Saquon Barkley would show up and get ran, but it's not. It's not because it's a CrossFit test. Mm-hmm. It's all around fitness.
Well, I think he's saying, shouldn't the CrossFit Games be for the viewers of those who do CrossFit?
It's not.
I know. I think it's marketing. Yeah, absolutely.
It's our
the biggest growth is when it was on ESPN in 2014 when Rich Froning and his big barrel chest was out there and winning it for America. That was the biggest. That was the biggest growth CrossFit had ever seen.
But wouldn't you say just globally CrossFit, we are in the position where we're in because they're trying to expand outside of CrossFit and make it for everybody?
No.
By watering it down.
Yeah, I disagree with that completely.
Hey,
what about this workout? What about this?
I get where hold on, John.
Okay.
I get what you're saying, Spin. But
I think
whole
what you're
point on this is that we made the claim that we're testing for the fittest on earth. You can't reference your own tests, aka CrossFit tests, in a statement where you're saying we're fitter than everybody else. That doesn't make sense.
No, I think where you're losing me is your assumption is that CrossFitters want to watch people do CrossFit.
They don't. I'm saying
that's what I'm saying is that you can still make it for CrossFit, but not be all CrossFit, right? Like I would argue right now, and I've been saying it for the last year, is nobody wants to watch people do burpees and thrusters.
Nobody.
People want to find the person who's going to be crowned the fittest on earth, the fittest man and fittest woman on earth.
Spectacle. It's not like
they want to, and what it's turned to is, yeah, people want to find who that is. And if you watch it outside of just the games, you're watching our show, you're watching Savan, you're watching Get With the Programming, because you're interested in the storylines that go with that.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody cares about how fast your cycle rate was on burpees and thrusters.
We do, but we're weird.
No, that CrossFitters care about that. And
CrossFitters care.
Even so, I don't think so. Because
not most. The 2,000 people that are in our sphere.
No. I'm saying the 3 events that are CrossFit, like that, the CrossFitters get those events. Like they're still in it for those events because of the characters and what have you.
They're not watching it because of the actual things that are happening. They're watching it for what that end result is. Because if they did, there'd be a lot more people watching Rogue, Wadapalooza, any other small event, because you'd be so pumped to watch that stuff because you're like, oh man, I can't wait to watch them do thrusters and burpees in this unique rep scheme. Nobody cares.
But that's what Tyler's saying.
Yeah. No, he's building my case for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I'm saying that CrossFitters, but it's not for trying to put it out there for the other 8 billion people in the world. It's make it more exciting for those CrossFitters who are here, and then be a show enough that if anybody sees it, they get excited about it.
Well, and that's the thing that I came to. I've been redefining my training over the past year, and I'm going to do high rocks now.
Your thrusters and chest to bar, hopefully. Right?
John's like, wait.
That's what your training should be right now.
It is. But I've been thinking about and over the past month, I've really been giving myself a hard time about it because I've been stagnant for a year, and I thought back about what made me want to do CrossFit, and it was watching them do these big powerful events at the games that I was like, man, I can do that. I need to train to do it well, but I could do that. And so, to me, if I'm not inspired by the workout that's happening, I'm not training for that anymore. Now, I'm not if you look at you could pull out, John, give me an inspirational workout from the games.
The Capital is pretty inspirational.
Capital, perfect. I can do derivations of what the Capital is. I can do, tire flips and run, and then sandbag carries. I can do something, but I know that it references back to me testing something like the Capital, right? I'm not saying I'm not going to do CrossFit anymore, but what I'm saying is I'm not going to do gym shit just for gym shit's sake anymore, because that's what's boring me to death. And I think that's what's boring everyone to death, is because there's no promised land. You get to the games and you're just doing gym shit again.
And Jeff Adler won't win the games if they go back to doing that. Just saying.
Do you think?
Honestly, Austin might not either. Maybe Ricky would flourish far more in games like that.
Do you think Beat Bajent, right? What Hiller just put out. It's straight up 2 CrossFit movements. It's rowing and burpees. But I feel like it has more to it.
It does.
Right? If you put it in your class, if you're an affiliate owner and you put it in, programmed it in the next sometime this month, and people were aware of what it meant and what it was, and if they were interested in doing it, throw $5 in there, you might win a autographed Bajent jersey. There's something behind it, and it's not. If Hiller said, "Hey, go do this,"
you'd be like, "Eh."
Nobody would do it. Nobody would care. Be like, "Oh, that's interesting." But the fact that he put a story behind it, something that's different, translates. I feel like that's what that is. I think that's what you're trying to say, is that it has to have something behind it.
Yeah. Well, so Murph is pretty boring event, and it's kind of CrossFit-y. It's pretty CrossFit-y.
Yeah.
And I think normally I would argue against that workout, but here's the thing. There's a million people across the United States that are doing that workout all the time. It means more to be good at Murph. I like training for Murph because it does mean more. And just like with Hiller's thing, if you program that workout for me to do at the gym, I'd be like, fuck, like I don't want to do this. But then all of a sudden Bajent does it. I'm like, all right, like I'll do it. You know what I'm saying? So there has to be more of an inspirational feel to any workout. And what's crazy is Hiller did that with a workout that sucks. It just is terrible.
I'm picking up,
not from a programming perspective, from a feeling perspective.
I'm picking up what y'all are putting down. All right, guys, we're going to have the Beat JY. And if you can do 100 bar facing burpees under 459, I will send you an autographed JY barbell shirt.
Do you have any left?
Yeah.
Oh.
We are out of large, extra large black, though. And large black crop female. So we're actually out of like a few of them. So
it only took a year.
Yeah.
Dennis O'Leary, maybe CrossFit also peaked and was only going to get so big due to its niche.
I don't think that's unfair, but I would like to hang out around 2014 peak niche than where we're at right now.
Mason, startup, doesn't it mean more? I guess maybe Murph because of CrossFit.
I would say yes. Yeah, I mean, I think we pushed everybody into wanting to do that more than we do now.
Slow, steady runner. The programming of the games has become uninspiring. Do you think the games needs a reset?
As a basically, does it need a new programmer? Is what they're asking.
I thought about this because when I thought about writing an article, I thought about making a video, and I said, like, the easy thing to do here is say Dave is cooked. Like, Dave needs a new job. I don't think that that's fair because he's done it well in the past. I think his hand is being forced now. He's being limited in what he can do and what they can pull off. I mean, look at the last 4 years, man. It's been a scramble every year.
Word on the street, this is his last year. There's nothing to lose.
Rumor is.
Real quick, Larry, 199, running is equal to string theory. I don't think he likes running.
I get that.
I'm with you as far as like I'm not against like Dave programming. But I do think if this year is not what you are saying, Tyler, what we said on the previous show, like if it doesn't allude back to that at all programming wise, then I think I'm pretty done.
What we need is a massive headquarters like Sousa talked about that has a campus there for the CrossFit Games and have everything that we would need.
Mm-hmm.
That solves everything.
You think Glassman would just build it in Phoenix?
I don't think Phoenix would be the right place for it, but
doesn't matter. If he builds it, they'll come.
If you couldn't tell by looking at Sousa's picture, that HQ is 100% either in Iowa or Arkansas. So,
oh, you want it in the middle of the country,
I'm just saying, based on the picture,
like a nuclear facility.
I thought it was on like Mars. No, I'm just saying Phoenix. No, just from an outdoor perspective, probably doesn't work well.
Yeah, winter months,
August
only.
in Phoenix, and probably
It'll be
not
all right.
great.
It'll be all right.
No,
in October.
We've talked about it. I don't know how many times we talked about it. Going outdoors, we need a festival feel. Bring everybody back together. Put it back outside. Bring it back to what it was meant to be, and I think it can grow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like 2 events outside and then 1 event inside, like for 3 straight days.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And it's always like that.
That's pretty much what it was always like.
1 early in the morning. You got 1 in the heat. It should be like a bit of a shorter one, but it's, we're in the heat. And then you have like indoor event. You can do whatever you want. Like that's more of like a little bit more in gym. You know what I mean? But that sticks to what you want, Tyler. That's 3 events inside, 6 events outside, probably 3 events that are like monostructural, but like in different facets, you know, running, swimming, biking. And then you have 3 events that are CrossFit outside that you can like play with. And then 3 like really legit, like these are 21, 15, 9, however you want it, you know. I'm all for it. I'm all for it.
Well, you guys hit the
Cookville will be interesting. I'm not sure it has the infrastructure to handle.
I'm with Kate.
That many.
I love Columbus. I love Columbus, Ohio. Listen, Columbus, Ohio, when they had Rogue there, I had a ball. Did y'all go to Rogue when it was at Columbus?
Did you go to the mall, John?
They have an insane mall, but just Columbus itself. Columbus is a good city. It is underrated. It's an underrated city. Nobody talks about Columbus. It's a very good city.
You just need to move to Columbus, bro. You've gone on this rant like 6 times on the show.
You know what else? You know what else is a nice city? Tyler, you'll respect this. Is Indianapolis. Indianapolis is a very nice city. It's oh, you're so wrong if you don't.
I lived there, John.
Like the downtown Indianapolis is very, very clean. Very clean.
Okay.
Y'all are haters, man.
You guys hit the nail on the head today. It's something I've been, like with the combine. Programming the combine at the games or some form of the combine. One thing I didn't like was, like JR said, doing shoulder to overhead instead of the bench press. I was like, no, like we need to do stuff that people do because we can hang, like some of the best games athletes can hang with some of the NFL guys on the bench press. Do shit that people can look at and relate to.
Yeah, it depends what position, but for sure.
Yeah.
I can do 20 with 225, and I know Austin can probably do more than that. I know Colton can probably do 30.
I can do, what was it, 12, 13?
I think it was 12. No, it might have been 13. You had like one crazy grinder that was like, it was awesome. Do we have a video of it somewhere?
Yeah, somewhere. Anyway,
that
was my whole spiel is that
do you do more than Christian McCaffrey? Did you know that?
Hell yeah.
That's impressive.
Christian
McCaffrey after college or now?
After college. I don't know what he's at
I
now.
feel like that's different.
So I just have hate for what I see happening and what's coming potentially down the tube if we keep pushing the direction we're pushing. I have hope that it's going to change. But until then, I'm just going to start training for shit that inspired me in the first place.
This is true. JRW. If it moved to Indianapolis, McAfee would give it all the love.
He'd probably do Murph live with his people.
He talks about it every once in a while.
I was getting ready to say he kind of brings it up.
I bet you we could wing Hiller in there somehow to do Murph with him.
Oh, you could trick a lot of commentators.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like we could get close enough to do it.
I like it.
Yeah. So anyway, that's my hate for the week.
Your hate. Okay.
String theory.
I agree with your hate. I am optimistic.
Yeah, you're very optimistic.
Maybe
you're expecting to bounce back from last year.
Maybe ignorantly so, but we'll see.
No one's talked about this in the way that I'm bringing it up, which is the inspirational piece. And we focus so much about going the route that we're going, which is the professionalization route, that I think we just got lost in the sauce. And now people want to fix the thing, and CrossFitters want it to be CrossFit. And I'm here to tell you that's not why you fell in love with it. That's not why you came here.
No, I completely agree with the professionalization of it is not what
I completely agree.
Kind of tangent to that. Did you see that Grand Slam track?
It's done.
Completely fell apart. So Michael Johnson, the golden shoe dude from the Olympics.
Yeah, I know Michael.
Started Grand Slam track. Basically said all the field events can go suck it. We're just going to go do some running events. Pay people. Like what's crazy is they had a pro division and they have challengers. So they had pro athletes in every one of them, and then they had challengers that came up. Now they didn't have like 2 different like groups. They were all just raced together. Put them on like I think maybe guaranteed salaries, and then they had some pretty high prize money, like $100,000 if you won one of the 4 events. they just canceled this past weekend in Los Angeles. And so I was watching some shows about it, and like some people, not, I would say like Hiller, but definitely not the, basically somebody just talking at the camera. And the guy was like, track athletes before this never really got paid. You got paid by a brand to wear their stuff on the track and be seen wearing New Balance or Nike or Adidas. You were just a billboard. You were making your money that way. That's what CrossFitters, that's what CrossFit is right now, the CrossFit Games. Like, you are a billboard. Look at any CrossFit athlete's Instagram. I dare you, outside of maybe 5, to go back and count the last 20 posts of any top athlete and tell me how many are not sponsored.
Well, that's the thing, though.
Even when they're sponsored, they're still like
Chris Ibarra.
He doesn't post.
Hey, look, his last 20 posts, he's not sponsored.
Okay. Somebody sponsor Chris Ibarra, please.
He needs it.
That's the thing, though, dude. If you really think about it, pro athletes aren't paid because they're athletes. They're paid because they put asses in seats and they get views, which is just one billboard. I mean, like, why is Indiana paying Caitlin Clark? Because she gets asses in seats and she gets views. She's a billboard.
I think other people are paying Caitlin Clark because of that.
Not only are her sponsors outside of that, but I'm saying even the team itself, they value her because of the revenue that she can bring them.
Does Proven Fitness pay Ibarra?
It should.
Because if that's the case, he's gotten sponsored a lot. But outside of that, John, you are correct.
I think he's part of their training camp, but I don't know if he gets paid by them or not.
The only thing I saw from Chris is that he has like Hercules apparel. He has like a shirt that.
Yeah, I wasn't lying to you.
He didn't post it. Actually, it was just a collaboration that Hercules did, and it looks like they made a game shirt for him. But yeah, that's. I told you couldn't probably find 5 of the 60 Games athletes that are top.
Sam Quant.
I don't think you want to see that one. That one's you're probably going to lose that one.
Saria Miha. I'll just go down the DEI.
No, not top.
I just go to DEI.
Yeah, you can't do that. No, it has to have some
relevancy.
Yeah.
Jack Rosema.
Let's see. Puma Training.
Nailed it.
Airwave. Okay.
There we go.
Okay.
2. World Fitness Project. That is sponsored.
This is all training.
Puma Training.
Yeah, he's just training in his Puma.
Yeah, that's why
Puma Training.
That's what
Element.
sponsor. They don't sponsor him with his kid.
I would say this is like half and half right here, Spin.
Puma Training. Yeah. HWPO, Imam. Okay. Airwave. Yeah. You've picked like the 2 guys that don't.
Well, that's what you challenged me. I can't think of anybody else.
There you go.
If you count Jack Rosema, like then we're like these little fringe people or who you want to try to pick. If you say top people, there's nobody.
That's right. If it's
which was the whole point of what's been.
That's the whole point. Let's go through the top 10 and count those.
Dude, don't.
The problem is it anymore. Even the training videos, you saw it on Quants. Like even the training videos have to have a tag of their sponsor.
Yeah.
Right.
But
like it's
Dallin
like,
and Hoppers are really bad.
Yeah, let's not go count Dallin.
Austin's is really bad.
Austin's gotten bad.
Justin's is really, really bad.
That's the thing about Portnoy.
Justin.
I don't see those. Sorry.
Well, yeah.
Sorry. Portnoy is sponsored at the wazoo, and a lot of his posts aren't like such as the tag some sponsor. Like he puts out a ton of content that's just him talking about whatever, right? And it's like you still relate to him, but it's like if you see this billboard pop up, you're like, all right.
Yeah. What about James?
I'll get there. Slow, steady runner, $1.99 in pounds. Supporting from the UK. Man, he's up late.
University
or she.
Thank you, Slow Steady.
Looks like a woman there chasing a turtle. Who was it? Sprague?
Yeah. I know he's got some, but he posts a lot of training stuff.
There needs to be. What's the ratio you think that you should be hitting?
Element.
Damn.
CBG. Element. That's just working with some chiropractor.
There we go.
I'll give him that. Ice Age meals.
Yeah,
Rocco Fuel. Roca. World Fitness Project.
This is he's just Iron Man stuff, man.
Oh, there we go.
Training piece.
Training piece. You didn't post that. He's just doing some programming there. There we go. That's a
training piece. See, like he's not
holy balls.
Yeah, I was there with it. But the training piece. See, he's not as bad. James isn't as bad.
Blow pops.
Yeah. Airwave. Sorry, Sprague. He's got a decent amount. He's still got about half that are billboards.
I would say if it's like that, then you're doing good.
Yeah. I would. Yeah.
Like you are worth a follow. Your Instagram is not just all you do is just post that stuff.
Yeah.
Tia is terrible.
Yes.
Tia and Matt are like one of the most unfollowable people you can. Like it's literally everything.
Brooke's pretty high.
Well, I can't see Brooks because Brooke Wells has blocked me for some reason.
You?
Yeah.
She blocked you?
Nobody else. And listen, I feel like you tell me if I'm wrong. I feel like I'm like one of the nicest ones to Brooke out of our group.
What'd you say?
Nothing, dude. She
You
blocked.
didn't rank her high enough on the mountain, John.
She blocked me on Syndicate on Sunday night of Syndicate.
Guilty
and
by
like I
association.
had not said any. She doesn't block Sevon.
Well,
she blocks me, but not Sevon. I
don't
gotta
play the game, don't you?
I don't understand it at all.
Let me see if I'm blocked.
I thought I was
know if
cool
you're
with their
blocked?
coach. I thought
Search their name.
You can't see their stuff.
Not blocked.
I've only said good things about her. Yeah, here I'll show you. It was wild because I haven't even said anything like directly about her the whole competition, other than she's killing everybody like she should. Like that's it. You can ask Bill. I don't remember at all. And then, sure enough, something came up, and I looked her up, and then I couldn't see anything, and I was like, "Why?"
Sure, you said something, John.
Oh yeah, they don't even pop up when you type them in, like because I can't even like look her up.
Yep, she's gone. I feel that's how it feels with Mr. Medeiros. It happens.
Can you make a devil's advocate for like Tia?
No, I think Tia makes enough money where she can be.
I don't think she
may post what I want.
I don't think she actually. I mean, I'm saying she's on her social media, but I don't think she runs her social media.
Oh, somebody just does all that stuff for her.
I was getting ready to say, like, I don't love social media, and so I don't post a lot. Period. Like my whole algorithm.
Yeah, I think that's it. Now. And she has requirements, and like she doesn't really want to be on there posting. And so when it is posted, it's probably somebody at Proven or social media manager or somebody that posts all those things. They get content and then throws it in there. And then every once in a while, she has to go talk at the camera for whatever.
But that it doesn't.
But
like so, even though she doesn't want to be on camera, it is something you have to then think about if that's the game you're playing.
Portnoy, I guarantee Portnoy likes being in front of the camera, right? And so he's okay being on there and just talking constantly. And so even if he does post the same amount of advertisements, even if he posts the same amount, like let's say 10 in a month, he drowns it out by posting a whole bunch of other stuff.
Yeah,
he is not going to post that much, so then it's just going to be that way.
Yeah.
Dude, surviving Barstool is one of the greatest things I've ever seen in my life. I wish so badly we could do that with surviving the locker room, and we all just go somewhere for a month until you get eliminated off. But it wouldn't be worth it unless we're winning something like $100,000, right? But
they did that in like a week, John.
Well, then if we should all just take a vacation for a week and just make content and just
It's
have
totally
Rios
possible.
and walk around Rios and somebody else, because I guess we need all of us for it, right? So people can't be on the camera.
We'd have to hire like 4 other camera guys.
The second Bryson gets eliminated, he'll be one of the camera guys. Like, we'll just eliminate the camera people. like first, like Caleb's first off.
Run the camera.
That would be so fun.
In surviving,
just because we need it. Just because we need it. Oh, dude, it would be so much fun.
I know we need to move, but in surviving the locker room, there's two questions I always think about. Who's the sneaker pick who makes it way longer than they should? And then who, 3, 2, 1, go. Who are you building alliances with? Like the first, like before the show even starts. Who are you're
dude, Pedro's a good one. I think Peter is the guy that makes it like way further. Like you don't even think about him, and then he's in the final 3. My alliance immediately, honestly, would probably be Taylor, and the reason why, yeah, and the reason why is because I don't think people would see that coming, and then JR would be like my main alliance. But me and Taylor have this secret one. So he just kind of goes and does his thing and I go do my thing. You see what I'm saying? And then we can kind of cover for each other, right? If we don't ever talk to each other, but I'm like, look, I'm going to make sure we're not picking you. You make sure we're not picking me. And I just don't think people would pick up on it if we don't talk to each other. We're very different personalities. And then that would be that would be my plan. And then JR, me and him get along. Like people like JR, you know what I mean? I think me and him would stay tight. And then, whoever wanted to be with us could be with us. That's how I would do it.
I'm immediately banding together with the underdogs because Sevon's going to figure out how to wiggle his way into that farm.
Sevon is Portnoy.
He is.
To a T.
And so I'm banding
People were like,
together.
we can vote Sevon off whenever we want to. Go ahead.
I'm tricking. Well, I'm not tricking Bryson. I'm making friends with Bryson because I'm like, here's the thing, dude. You and Taylor are boys, but at some point he's going to have to cut you. And you need a friend in that moment. And I'm here to be your friend. Caleb, I'm banding together with Caleb. All the sneaky guys, I'm banding together with them.
We're voting those people off first.
See, that's what I'm saying. I can save you.
What about you, man?
One day. Who would I told you Pedro.
Who's the sneaky picks Pedro? You banding it with Pedro?
Mm-hmm.
And then who? Oh, okay. You're just the same person for you.
See, here's the hard one is Souza. If you create an alliance with Souza, there's always that tricky case that he's super aligned with Sevon.
See, I think Souza and Peter would be the hardest to trust. I think they would have their hand in everything. and you see what I'm saying? And then
you got to know that going into
it.
And
then make moves when they need to make moves, right? And then you'd be like, okay, I'm jumping ship whenever it starts breaking apart. I think Souza and Peter are both like that. But that's why I said Taylor and not them, because me and Taylor could never talk to each other the entire time and know that we're backing each other up. Does that make sense? And like people wouldn't see it coming. Susan and Peter, I couldn't trust them if we were together because at some point something looks prettier to them and then they'd be like, this is just a move I had to make. I hope you understand. And like, I do understand, but they would make that move, right? Where I need somebody who like, we're going to the end no matter what. Nobody's gonna see it coming. That's what I need.
You got to know what you're walking into and use them to your advantage. I've told this to Tyler and other people.
I think
we better move on.
Would do that better than I could do it.
John doesn't trust himself in this game.
All right, we're moving on. We might do that at some point if somebody wants to drop a whole bunch of money to sponsor it. Let's see. All-time CrossFit Games athletes. John, you're working on a project. You want to
I am. Yeah, we
John's string theory.
Yeah, your elevator pitch of what you're doing and then what we're actually going to do here.
Okay. So I'm currently working on. I feel, and I've talked to Barkley to kind of help me out with it as far as making it legit. I have come up with an equation, if you will, a sliding
Barkley
scale.
Came up with an equation.
No, Barkley didn't make it, but he just helped me make it more where less
Advisor.
less holes to poke in it. Yeah, advisor is a good way to do it. And it's a sliding scale of who is the all-time best, but by numbers. So, for example, in 2007 to 2009, it goes on a 60-point scale, like from first to 20th. You get points in being the top 20, and then event wins are worth 5, and then you go down to the next era, right? Every 5 years after the first one is a new era. And then the scale goes up. So it goes up to 70 points, 2010 to 2014. And then 2015 to 2019 is an 80-point scale. And then you just see who is the best all time by the numbers, okay, and how they place in the games when they place. And this originated because Bryson and me had a conversation about where would Scott Panchik rank, because, you know, he never really podiumed or he didn't win a ton of events versus somebody like Dallin today, right? And in my case, I would take Dallin, but the numbers, just the longevity, would say Scott Panchik's worth more. I know that because I've done this a little bit now. I kind of see where it's trending. But you see where those meet together, right? It might take Dallin like 5 years to eclipse Scott Panchik, right? But it's straight up numbers of who is the greatest of all time. And I haven't finished it yet. So we're going to make our all-time men and all-time women here, and we're going to see how it compares to the legit thing once I finish it. And I talked to Chase, and on the 20th anniversary of the games, the 20th games, whoever the top 25 men and women are, that will be your inaugural class of the CrossFit Hall of Fame. And then every 5 years, it will update, and then new people will be eligible to go into the Hall of Fame.
We don't need a computer telling us who the Hall of Fame is, John.
No. Spin. No, that's where you got me all wrong. It's who is available. It's who's available.
We're allowed to pick from them.
Yeah, that is the criteria. Just like MLB, just like NBA, that's the criteria of who is available. And then on the 20th anniversary of the CrossFit Games, we will have a board, which Chase is working on it with CrossFit HQ. We'll have a board of 5 people, not just CrossFit, like different people out in the area. We'll pick the 5 best, and then you'll have 5 more available, but they will always be from that all-time list. That is the guideline you have to go by.
Okay.
I'm wondering.
I knew going into this we were going to have arguments about it, because you give no credit to people who were better in their era than others back in the day. Like the newer generation, if you win 2 times now, Justin Medeiros, he's going to be better than Annie Thorisdottir.
He's not.
Yes.
At all. It's
because
not even
he's
close.
not competed enough.
But that point jump, right, he's not competing enough. If he gets 7th place for the next 7 years, he will not be better than Annie Thorisdottir.
Why?
It doesn't, like Annie's done more. Because event wins are worth 5 across the board. They don't elevate. So if you have 12 event wins, that's 60 points that you're getting on somebody who doesn't have any event wins. And say, I know Justin has like 2 or 3, but that shows your dominance over your era, and it kind of dulls the sliding scale a bit. But it's just like Wilt Chamberlain. Like Wilt Chamberlain is not the greatest of all time, but he is in the top 10, and everybody would put him there, right? Even though the record
would say that
the record books, you can't touch his records, right? So he deserves to be there. But people are fitter now than they were back then. So it's just, where does that meet? And as the eras grow, as the years grow, right, that sliding scale gets closer and closer because it caps at 100.
I mean, that brings up a good question, though. Like, why does event wins matter?
Because it shows the dominance over your
He is doing great then. And you would say,
he's
because
not,
you win. just because he wins so many times. He's higher ranked than you would put him based on where you believe it is.
So when you see this list, you will be shocked. Guy won't even be close to making the list.
I didn't
Not
say
at all.
he would be. I didn't say he'd be on the list. I said he'd be higher than where you think he should be because of event wins, and you hate that.
I do. But how many people know the name Guy Malheiros? A lot versus how many people know the name Sam Quant. I think more people know Guy Malheiros than Sam Quant.
Yeah, but how much of that does that have to do with like social media and stuff and the prevalence of how much we pushed Guy through his years versus how much?
Well, his event wins though show like the impact he has on the games, right? It's fitness and impact in an all-time
I don't like
equation.
Just answer me this.
I think once you see it spin, you'll respect it way, way more. For instance, Becca Voigt Miller, right? We all know I love her.
Fan of the show.
She is the third best woman all time through 2013. And like you wouldn't think that just thinking and she is.
But she was still current in that era.
She was 30th place in 2014.
But riddle me this, John.
Yeah.
We get to year 30 of the games. Is it possible that anybody from the first or second era would be in the top 10?
Yes.
Okay.
Because the scale is sliding. So as, for instance, we're on a 100-point scale. This is the first year of a 100-point scale. The next era doesn't go to 110. It stays at 100. And then the next one, the one before it's worth 90, the one before it's worth 80. So like it gets more and more condensed. So 50 years down the road, everything's going to be worth the same. Or very close to.
Who was ahead of Rebecca Voigt Miller by 2013?
I think it's Kristen Clever and Annie Thorsdottir.
Just because she competed since 2008.
Correct. But she got third place in one of those years. She got seventh place in one of those years. She has one event win. And if you're going to say the one win that Sam Briggs has over her, like it's not worth more. It's not.
What if you have a Barry Sanders like tenure? What if you have like 2 years where you're just the golden boy, you're just killing events, but then you don't compete anymore, like you just fall off the face of the earth?
Right. And then for the all-time list, like you're going to be 20th, 24th place. Like if you won 2 CrossFit Games and then you left.
I wouldn't say that that's unfair. The talk would be that person was the greatest and we just never got to see him ever again. They walked away. But if greatest of all time, there is a element of Rich doing so many years of competition and Tia doing so many years.
And I would say Rich is the Barry Sanders. Because Barry Sanders still played 10 years. He had 15,000 yards. He was 1,000.
I need a better
He was like 1,000. Bo Jackson's probably the best example.
That's who I was thinking about.
But even Bo Jackson wasn't the best running back in the league when he was playing. He just was one of them, and he was a freak athlete, and people made a big deal about it.
He was.
But go look at who he was. The Guy. Go look at who led the league in rushing yards. It wasn't Bo Jackson, right? He played 4 years and was hurt for 2 of them, but then he could do 80-yard runs nobody else could do. Bo Jackson was never like one of the top running backs of all time. Bo Jackson was 90s. I mean, Barry Sanders was Bo Jackson time.
Barry Sanders, okay.
And then Walter Payton was before Barry Sanders. So like Bo Jackson shouldn't be on the all-time list, but you would talk about him because he was awesome when he was. Guy is a great example of Bo Jackson, right? And Bo Jackson is looked at more highly than he probably should be because he could do things nobody else can do. Just like Guy. But it doesn't show in this all-time list because that's strictly by the numbers.
So that's coming out at some point. We're supposed to make a top 10 list together. It's gonna be a disaster.
Well, at some point you're just gonna have to just agree.
Right. How we get to the inaugural CrossFit what do we call Hall of Fame we're still going to have to vote, and John's going to have his equations.
Well,
which is
and that's going to be who's available. That's going to be who's available, and it's going to be a data point.
We need to walk this back a little bit. John used to give me a lot of shit for pulling out the computer, and here John is with the computer.
Well, no, it's really just to see where people like of Rebecca Voigt-Miller and like a Scott Panchik like end up being in the all-time number. Like this is what it says by the numbers. And so like I want to see if no, I'm right or I'm low. I'm low on them and I should be higher, or the general public is too high on them and they should be lower. Like you can't argue with the numbers, and that's all this is doing.
Brandon Ecker, all-time career or all-time talent? John is saying career.
Correct.
Yeah, you can't measure talent.
No, correct. Yeah, absolutely.
I think you have to weigh it when you look at, go through this, and we need to get going. So we got like 40 minutes to try to go through this.
We got it.
John wanted
I think we'll be fast. I think we'll be faster than you think. Oh, I didn't know Tyler's hate was going to go on for an hour, but I think we'll be faster.
All right. So
I didn't make a list at all. I thought we'd go as blank as we can be, off the cuff as we can be. I don't have any list. I don't have any numbers. Just how do we feel? And we'll see how it compares to the numbers at the end of it. I think we'll miss a lot of people.
We're going to compare at the end.
Yeah. Once I make the list, we will compare what we said originally to what it says by the number.
Oh, so not in the show. We're going to compare at a later date.
Yeah.
So we're going to try to come up with one. We're trying to come up with one list. Is that right, Tyler?
Yeah.
Or both, or whoever wants to. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
So top 10 men.
Rich Froning.
I would say Matt Fraser, but no. Hey! By accomplishments.
Rich Froning.
By accomplishments. 5 games is more than 4, guys.
Teams
doesn't matter. It's his individual games.
Just because he didn't doesn't mean he couldn't.
He didn't though. Matt Fraser could have won 10 in a row.
So we're saying top 10 athletic
by accomplishments.
Technically, it's Matt.
Would you say Aaron Rodgers is a better quarterback than Tom Brady?
No, I would say nobody was better than Joe Montana.
Okay, but Tom Brady is by accomplishments. By accomplishments, Tom Brady is correct.
See, this is the recency bias that I don't like about your model.
As the years go on, everything will get condensed.
This will phase out in 30 years.
In 30 years, we're on episode 1500.
And by accomplishments, Matt Fraser has done more. You cannot in individual CrossFit Games.
So it has to be Fraser, Froning, Medeiros, top 3.
Well, see, this is where you run into how does longevity play into it? Is 2 wins worth more than 6 podiums? Like, you know what I'm saying? But 10 years of making the top 5 CrossFit Games, but you didn't win it all. You know what I mean? This is like if you say Fraser and Froning straight up, Fraser wins in every single metric. It's not just they're really close. Fraser wins in every metric.
Froning beat Fraser head to head.
The only thing
Fraser has and Fraser has more games wins, more event wins.
That's all I need, Sean.
More second places technically. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yes. I will see.
Y'all are trying to be contrarian right now, and I'm telling you.
Fraser also did 2020, which is complete garbage because nobody will ever catch him because he played. He had a gazillion events where he only had to compete against 5 athletes or 4 athletes.
I could say 2019 is garbage when Matt Chan is the second fittest man in the world.
No, but there was a full field at the 2012 games, even with respect to that era. That's the thing about the eras thing, John. It was like they were competing with all of the athletes. Matt competed against no one at the 2025 games.
Do you think he wouldn't have won?
Games. No, he would have won, but he wouldn't have won as nearly as many events as he did.
No, no. For the model, because of 2020, for that, event wins are worth half. So, like, it would have been if he won 10 events, it's 5 events. And I think that's fair.
At best, yeah.
That's nice that you did that, but it should be worth less than that because, like, dude, he competed with
Yeah,
What,
but the year previous he won 6 events, and if I gave him a quarter, he would have won half of that. Like, it makes it comparable to the year previous, which I think is fair.
Patrick Clark, he can watch again because he's in the States. Just shocked that Tyler didn't say Travis Mayer for number 1.
I'm not a fool.
And for the sake of this, guys, go accomplishments, what we think by accomplishments. Okay.
There is zero chance we're going to actually get through a list. So we're going to just go through this.
Well, if you quit
verbally.
trying to be so contrarian with it, I just said 4 accomplishments.
This is the hardest one.
Agree
Once we get past this one, it'll be fine.
I agree. Okay. Fraser and Froning are 1 and 2.
Okay. Number 3.
I'm not going to say Justin is number 3.
I'm not either. I think Vellner's 3. Can you go up back to the thing, spin, so we can see it?
What? Just a blank sheet with 1, 2.
Yeah, are you going to type them out?
No, we're just going to go through this because this is never going to happen.
Spin. It's going to go quick. Can you
We're
please
already at 3,
go?
dude.
Yeah, we're already at 3. It's going to go really, really fast. I bet you we could do this in 10 minutes if y'all would just pull it together. Fraser. All right, Spin. If you're not
What?
I just told you to go by accomplishments.
I would agree with Vellner.
If you want to do your personal list, that's not what is by accomplishments. And
I know.
Freaking, if you're going to be retarded about it, I don't
Justin
even
is
care.
number 2.
I don't even
number
care
3.
to do it. If you're going to be retarded about it, I don't care to do it anymore.
2 out of 3 of us are saying Froning is the top 10.
I've
It's
said
by accomplishments.
Tyler, define accomplishments.
Winning the games. Event wins.
So Medeiros is number 3. Then.
Average finish placement. Stuff like that. I told you this a million freaking times. If you can't freaking operate
so
like
there's
that,
no
then we shouldn't do
then.
this.
It's just
no, we should
be
be done.
We should be done. The computer should tell us.
That's what
John.
I'm saying. This is, can we do what the computer's going to, we're going to be way off.
Guess what the computer's going to say.
This should be the easiest one.
Yeah. Beat the computer.
If I'm going to do the computer, then it's a way different game. I don't believe it.
That's what we're playing, though.
I'm just guessing the computer.
Then call it guess the computer. Right. I've told you this before we started the show. It's really pissing me off that you can't just do what I said to do.
Play the game.
Guess the computer. All right. I would agree then.
Now, I will agree with Vellner at 3. I don't want to put him there, but I via accomplishments, I think that's correct.
If we're guessing the computer, it has to be Vellner because he's competed forever.
This is where it's going to get hard because I'm going to want to say Ben Smith at 4.
I like Ben Smith at 4.
Just because of longevity?
He won 1 year. He was second another year, and he was third another year after that.
And he's been around for hell and ever.
He made the podium 3 different years, and he has competed for 10 years.
$10 minutes.
Whatever. If you want to say Ben Smith, that's fine.
Who would you say? You want to say Justin Medeiros?
Yeah, because he has won twice. He has a top 5 and 2 first place finishes his first 3 games. That's pretty solid.
This is where I think longevity starts to play in more.
Only 2 other people have done that. Actually, no, only 1 person has done that.
And he'll never place higher than 7th ever again.
But if he does it for the next 6 years, it doesn't matter. He still has a better record than Ben.
I kind of don't think he will either. I think Justin's a solid 5. Justin's a solid 5.
Justin, I would agree with 5. 5's a good spot for Justin.
Man, this is
now
hot garbage.
Dan and Jason are going to start playing in here somewhere.
Dan
Bailey.
No.
He was around for like 10 years, dude.
He's not in my top 11.
Well. Yeah. No, Dan's really far
okay,
off.
Then what about Jason?
Jason is number 6.
Jason Haber?
Khalipa,
dude.
Okay, yeah, Khalipa. I would I would put Khalipa 6.
All right. Hey, all right. We finally got something in agreement. Okay.
Scott
Bukowski.
Ooh.
I have Noah.
I would put Noah and Fikowski in the same boat.
Then I would put
You
Noah
could put him
above
7 or
Fikowski.
8, but I'd put him in the same boat.
I have Fikowski lower than 8.
That's because you hate Brent Fikowski. He was second one year. He was top 5 like 4 or 5 years, and he played for 8.
Who, Olsen?
Fikowski.
Oh.
What about Olsen?
The fact that you thought that was Olsen should put Fikowski at 8. Like we put Noah at 7 and then Fikowski at 8. Who would you put ahead of him?
Scott.
No shot. No. They played almost the same amount of years, and Scott Panchik never made a podium. Fikowski has like 7 event wins.
I don't agree with the whole event win thing.
What about it?
If Scott can take 4th, I don't know how many years, like what, 4 years, 3 years?
2 years. He took 2 years. He took 6th 2 years, and he took 5th 1 year.
Dang it, dude had a rough go.
Yeah, 4th, 5th, 6th, 6th, and a 4th in 2019. So
now read Fikowski's. I know you don't want to, but go ahead and do it for the sake of this.
Let's see. 4th, 2nd, 4th, 23rd, 15th, 3rd, 16th, 4th, and 3rd.
So he's got 4 podiums.
Scott never finished worse than 11th.
That's
right, but he has 4 podiums. Like you take their 5 best placements, and Fikowski wins every single one of them. But because he has a 16th and a 23rd,
3 podiums,
and 2 4ths. So you go their 5 best years. Fikowski wins every single one of those. But since he has a 16th and a 23rd, you want to put Scott Panchik ahead of him, who's never podium and won way less.
Yeah.
You gonna put Noah at 7? Because we didn't argue about that one. All right. I would say Fikowski. You say Scott. Tyler, you gonna break the tiebreaker?
Scott.
Okay, you gonna put Fikowski at 9?
Fikowski he earned 9 for sure. He might be higher, but I can't being in the top 10 that many times. That weighs on me a little bit.
I vehemently disagree with Scott Panchik, but that's okay.
We know. Number 10.
Jason
BKG.
Hopper.
BKG.
Oh, Khalipa, we already said. BKG?
I have him as one of my options.
No, hold on. No.
If it's computer, I'm putting BKG. If the computer, it's BKG. I have Adler as number 10.
I actually think the computer would say Jeff.
Why?
Because he won, and he's won events,
and he was 5th as well. I think a 1st and a 5th outweigh 2/3. And then what else? But for BKG he's played for so long. Yeah. It's probably BKG.
Man, I want to put Adler now.
But you would want Adler, right? But
it's disrespectful to not put Adler because he's won.
BKG's 11 years. Consecutive.
Yeah.
26th, 3rd, 8th, 5th, 3rd, 8th, 4th, 9th, 11th, 16th.
Yeah, but Jeff lives in Canada, dude.
It's disrespectful to BKG for him being in the games that long. And you saying a guy that's just done 3 years.
Yeah, but BK never won it.
But this is the point. This is accomplishments. It's not how you feel.
He accomplished the most important thing.
Yeah, but yeah. This is where longevity
I want to put
matters.
BKG in this for now because
that's fine.
Jeff has not been there enough to beat him, but I can go either way.
I also realize
that's where I think it's very, very tough to say you can have a computer spit it out because you have to agree on what is important and weight those appropriately. on top of it being in a certain era. Like it's very like I think we could all say we can put some people into buckets, but even then, what is Medeiros' 2 games wins worth compared to Vellner's multiple podiums? Right?
But that
like,
is
only one person can win.
Mm.
2 other people can podium.
correct, for sure.
And we're trying to find the fittest on earth. He was the fittest on earth twice. Like,
Yeah.
only 3 men have done that.
So, but this
and he's sitting there down in 5th.
I'm not saying the computer is the best all time. I'm saying this is who's done the most in the sport. That's it. I don't agree with it either. I would put Fikowski probably 4th. And I'd put Adler ahead of BKG.
You just hate Ben Smith.
But this is who has done the most in the sport. That is what the computer is tabulating.
This isn't a bad
your
list.
algorithm of what's important.
No, it's not. It's not.
It's Barkley.
What I think is most important because Scott Panchik wouldn't be there. If it's what I thought was most important, winning the games would be worth more than like it would be a game scale almost, where it's more important to be at the top than it is 7th. If it was my like what I wanted, what I think is the most important, but it's essentially open scoring.
What if you don't degrade the what year you competed?
I can do that too. And then you could see the differences. And I think y'all would agree because the reason why I don't like, and I will do that too, so you can see the comparison. But the reason why I don't like that is because I think it's worth more to win in 2024 than 2008.
I don't think the guys in 2008 would say that.
Well, they're better now.
That's the thing, though. You made
or else Bill Russell would be the greatest basketball player of all time. You agree with it too. You just don't know it.
Up to a certain point, but Michael is still the best and will always, to me, the era in which he played basketball was the best era of basketball. And like LeBron,
there's some relativity to it and where you've taken the sport or taken what you've done. Like you can't expect that Rich Froning would go from people not being able to do a rope climb to doing what Frazier did in 1 year. Frazier would not have been where Frazier was without Rich Froning. You have to give some credit to that. LeBron would not be LeBron if there wasn't Michael Jordan.
And there is credit to that. Rich Froning will very likely still be second, like by the computer standards.
Because he won 4 times. Like you're not gonna.
Well, who say somebody who should be higher than you think they will be?
Froning should be 1 and Frazier should be number 2.
Yeah, but that is your opinion. This is not.
Your algorithm is your opinion.
No, it is not. I would make it different.
Slightly your opinion.
Okay. If it was my opinion, the games would be worth 100 points, and second place would be worth 85, and then third would be worth 75, and then it would go down by 5s from there. If it was my opinion.
Whose opinion is it? Who put the numbers in there? Who came up with 100 points?
I thought this was the most unbiased way to do it.
It was inspired by God. He's on a mission from God.
And how would you do it?
I don't know, but
you don't know exactly. You don't know. Don't know.
I've not thought about it in 28 minutes.
What James Sprague is doing?
I have not come up with the algorithm to do this.
You think James Sprague is done? What James Sprague did in 2024? You think what him and Jason
He's
Khalipa
top 5.
did?
He's top 5 in the.
You think what he did in 2024 is worth the exact same as what Jason Khalipa did in 2008? If you think that, then I think you're so wrong.
It would be had he done the sledgehammer, but we'll never know.
Do you honestly think that? You think that should be worth the same amount of points?
Yes, because Khalipa was competing against people in 2008. Every year you're going to get better. That's why records are broken. Like the human advancement, our abilities get better. Like you can't just say, well, because Khalipa won in 2008 and nobody knew how to do grace quickly, just, he did it faster than everybody else who did CrossFit at the time with the skills that were available to people at the time.
Well, I will make it at the same scoring scale, and then the scoring scale that I thought would be the most unbiased.
Let's see how different.
And we will see the differences in it. Okay.
Sure.
And then we can all sit down and evaluate. Whenever you think this other one's better, I'm going to be like, you need to apologize to me on the show.
Cannot wait.
And by the way, Fraser would still be ahead that way. He would.
That's cool. That's cool. All right.
This is good.
Is it? All right. We're moving on to some blind rankings because we have 21 minutes. It's been such a good show so far. Blind rankings. I forget what it was supposed to be. We'll figure it out here in a second together. John got me all flustered on guessing.
I do like it, John, and it's funny to watch you go through this because I've done I've tried to walk this route, and it's like it's so difficult. Like you have changes of format every single year. You have way too many athletes every single year, not enough athletes every other year. Just different shit. Like it's hard to put a number on this. And so I do appreciate you going through it. There's always going to be these arguments of what is the right algorithm.
Yeah, that's true. All right. Blind rankings. What are the most athletic sports? I'll give you a hint. AI helped me with this. So you want to guess AI if you want to play the game.
Okay, John. Number 1 is football. If not
athletic sports.
Of athletic sports. I think that's my pinnacle. If not Aussie rules football, but that one's lesser known. So
I think hockey's really athletic, man.
Dude, you don't jump in hockey.
Hockey's football, but on ice.
Yes. Is basketball on your list?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a list. I didn't know we were doing that.
Well, I'm just saying, if we're gonna pick like we know what the number 1 is.
Yeah. I mean, I think basketball's up there.
Hockey is not on the list. Just send it down there somewhere with fishing.
Go ahead. Let's just see it.
Let's
hockey. Where my Canadians at?
IQ Black Dragon. JY, why are you sulking?
That's not what he didn't ask a question. He said, "Are you sulking?"
Are you sulking?
No, I don't care anymore. Just go to the list. No, y'all don't even see it. I put a whole bunch of days and weeks and hours into this. I asked them, do y'all think this is a good idea? They said it was, and then we go on here and they're going to try to trash it. I think it's pretty wild that they're that against it. Then you don't even let us do a show on it. I don't understand it.
John,
I don't understand it. No, Tyler, I asked y'all beforehand, and y'all were all about it.
This is part of the entry, John.
I do not care anymore.
I
wanted it to be the most unbiased it could be, and then basically y'all are like, "Oh, nope, it's just your thing," and I did, and that's what I was trying not to do. So I was literally trying not to do. I had Barkley poke holes in it, and I did everything that he said what you should do with it. And no, I don't care anymore. Y'all want to be dicks about it.
We're not being dicks, dude.
Directed at
We're
spin.
pushing back.
I do not care anymore. You should push back when I asked you to push back. I don't care anymore. Let's go to the next thing.
I want you to understand that this
what is what I just say, Tyler. Let's go to the next thing.
This is what doing P-score is like, is that all of a sudden everybody you've never talked to has an opinion on the thing. This is where it all happens, dude. We like it. That's why we're doing this.
I think my question on that story is that we cannot come to an agreement on top 10.
It's not that. I told you what this was about, and then you're like, let's just make it about something different. It's like that at all. If you're going to say Joe Montana has more accomplishments than Tom Brady, you're just wrong. You know you're wrong, and you're being wrong on purpose, and I don't know why.
What about Dan Marino?
Let's go to the next thing.
All right. The most athletic sports. with the assistance of AI. Here we go. The decathlon.
Damn. I would say 3. It is tough because they are athletic, but there's some holes in their athleticism.
It's one of the fittest things. It's not.
It is
super athletic.
I wouldn't say it's not athletic. I mean, they throw and stuff.
I would say I don't think it's super athletic.
Where would you put it, John?
3.
I would say 3. I tend to appreciate jumping and explosion a little bit more than I see.
I want to get this out before we go on this. I asked them before the show, do you think this is a good idea? Try to poke holes in it. And they were all about it. It's not what would just happened. This had a conversation before the show. Next thing.
You want to make an all-time top 25 on the spot.
I don't care. Spin next thing. I'm serious. I'm going to leave the show if you don't keep going to the next thing. I don't care anymore.
All right, next up. MMA.
Is that more athletic than decathlon? I think it might be.
I would say 4.
Larry. Oh, 3 is gone, dude. 4? You don't think you think decathlons are fitter or more athletic?
I just it's more about what's coming next than do I think it's better than decathlon.
Oh, you want to save 2?
2 and
okay.
1.
If I have to think about it for that long,
I would put decathlon at 4 and MMA at 3, but I just whatever's coming.
Yeah, I'd agree.
All right. Next up, water polo.
Oh my God.
5.
Yeah, like
I think you could be an elite swimmer and be just fine.
Huge.
All right. We'll see.
They're fit as hell. Like there's no, but athleticism is different than fitness to me.
You got to throw a ball.
100%.
You got to throw a ball
while swimming. I mean, that's pretty impressive. All right, next up, gymnastics.
2.
2's good.
2.
Okay. This isn't the list we wanted.
No, I don't think football's on the list.
Last one. You are correct.
Football
is on the list, but it's that Pedro football, soccer.
Yeah, I don't like this at all.
Can I make the case? I think on this list it's good.
I don't know. I don't like any of these.
I'd
put all these in the same boat as far as athleticism goes.
Why would you say American football is the most athletic?
Endurance, explosivity. You got to run and jump.
I think explosiveness and power. Yeah. What is it to be athletic? It's how high can you jump? How fast can you run? And they can jump the highest and run the fastest.
Another part that's like you can't measure about athleticism, like you can measure how high somebody can jump, how long they can run, like all that stuff, how fast they can run, but you can't measure the mental aspect of football, which is way harder than every other of these sports.
Ortega. MMA is explosive and powerful.
Yeah.
I'm really just thinking how high can you jump? How fast can you run? How much can you lift? Like those, you know what I mean? Like,
I think I would do on this list. Oh, dude, I don't even know what to do. I would say it's MMA, soccer, gymnastics, and decathlon is tough. Water polo is right where it needs to be.
They're so different.
Yeah. I would say decathlon, gymnastics, soccer.
MMA first?
Yeah, MMA first.
Yeah, that doesn't sound bad.
Dude, we messed this one up bad.
So Grok, when I put it in there, I actually gave it to you in the order that Grok had ranked it. Decathlon first, MMA second, water polo third, gymnastics fourth, and soccer fifth.
Grok's dumb as hell.
They did not put football in because it was just too short of a duration of plays that they did not like that.
You don't know what athleticism is if that's your answer to that. Too
Grok
short.
does not. Grok does not. I'm sorry. So there you go. Blind rankings, athletic sports. John, you probably liked it because it was non-CrossFit based. So
hard. This was the hardest one I think we've ever done. We messed this one up.
I mean, you have to think a lot more with it.
Yeah.
Well,
I wonder what Grok.
I just wish it was traditional sports.
I wonder what Grok was
pretty traditional.
basing it on.
It was, yeah. I mean, it was like decathlon has so many different elements. You have to be good at 10 things.
Right.
Right. MMA, you had to wrestle against somebody else, like hand-to-hand combat type thing. I can't remember what water polo said, but I just went with it because
like rugby's athletic.
Rugby was number 6. Rugby was number 5 until I added soccer, basketball, football, hockey into it. I didn't like the ball sports.
Interesting. Yeah, Grok's never played some football.
Yeah, I just yeah.
I played.
These are all fitness. These are all fitness sports, except gymnastics. Like they're all. It's just like what is the most athletic sports, but only the cardiovascular ones. Like
right. If you've played football for longer than 10 minutes, you know that it's the most athletic sport.
I just think it's your definition of athleticism.
Right.
Right. Well,
and my
Grok has a different
like how
different
freaky
definition.
Are you? You can't look at Myles Garrett and say that's not an athletic guy, and he would suck at all of these.
Fair. All right. We're going to move on to the last one, John. You're going to be excited because now we're going to rank the women, and I'm sure
I think this one will be better.
This one will be better. I know we were going to agree on number 1.
Yeah, it's undisputed heavyweight champion.
She's in her own crown. Now the question is, where does it come off the rails? John?
It has to be Katrin.
Katrin? Would be Katrin or Annie?
I would say Katrin.
John?
I would say Katrin, but in your opinion, it would be Annie.
I did have Annie number 2.
Why really?
Why was it Katrin over Annie?
She was better.
Why? I don't know what this is. I haven't done the whole list yet. It doesn't matter anyway. I don't think I'm going to do. I don't think I'm going to finish it anyway. I think I'm just done with the whole thing. I hope that you are happy in whatever you were trying to do. I think winning against a more fit field, winning in a more fit era is worth more than when Annie won. But if you want to say Annie, that's fine.
Why would you say Annie?
Annie got 3rd in 2021 after a baby. That's pretty cool. She won twice. Their accomplishments are pretty similar.
Yeah, it's the longevity, 2 wins, just like Katrin.
Katrin's just done it against the harder field.
But
that doesn't matter. So you put whoever you want. I don't care. Katrin.
I would say Katrin.
Well, you guys win, so I will go with David's daughter.
And then I would say Annie.
Speaking of,
choose to spell Tia, but not Katrin.
Speaking of Annie, did you watch the podcast that just came out today or recently?
Mm-hmm.
That was pretty wild.
The soul science thing.
Yes. Yeah, that was something.
Is it worth watching?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I would watch it. It's an hour 14. The back half isn't as important. Stay with us, John. Stay with us. Number 4.
Just thinking of names.
Laura Horvath.
Probably. It's gross.
Who's a number 2 that beats her?
Sam Briggs is a good one, but I mean, she hasn't done what Laura's done.
I would say, I feel like Kara's got to be up here.
No, not yet.
Number 5, I had Sam.
Yeah, I'm good with Laura and then Sam.
Tyler, any complaints?
I don't feel like Sam's that high.
When you go through the rest of the list, I think you'll be hard pressed to put somebody above Sam.
It's kind of a hodgepodge of just people who are
The women get harder because I think they're all more equal on this than the men. Like the men, you can argue wins, longevity, consistency. This, it's like all the women are all the freaking same. Next one I have is number 6, your favorite South African queen, Kristen Holte.
I'm not ranking her above Cara.
Yeah, I would probably say Cara over her.
I had Cara 7, so I'm okay with switching those two if you guys are in agreement. Cara had a bunch of different, like, not great finishes, though.
Didn't she pull out?
Holte was more consistent.
Yeah.
So, let's see.
Cara should have beat Tia.
Cara Saunders was
that one.
I mean, she went 19th, 12th, 31st her first 3 years. And it was 5th, 7th, 2nd, 4th, 8th, and then 36th, 7th.
The one right, her first 30 something, she pulled out, right? That was when she had heat stroke or whatever.
That was in 21 now.
No, 2014 is where she had heat stroke.
2014. Yeah.
Holte did 16th, 17th, 12th. So not that dissimilar. She didn't have a 30th. 7th, 7th, 2nd, 6th, 4th, 11th, and then 11th on a team. But
I would say because Cara had some dominant, like Holte never had dominating performances though. Holte, like when we start talking about event wins and stuff and event placements, Cara had more in the top than Holte did.
Well, I don't know. I think Kristen Holte probably had more event wins because she won all the endurance.
She won all the running ones. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I bet they're more similar than you think. I bet they end up being really close.
They were very close. Actually, I think I had Cara in there. Then I looked up Kristen's stats and I was like, oh, okay. Number 8, Carrie Pierce.
That feels weird that she's on this list.
Yeah, I would say Carrie and then Sarah.
God, how is Sarah?
I do not have Sarah in my top 10.
That's another Bo Jackson pick right there.
Dude, Sarah did some stuff though, man.
For like 2 minutes.
No,
she disappointed everybody.
Like there for like 3 years, and then
I mean, she was so good that anytime she shows up, everybody's like, she's going for sure.
There's just not a lot left though, dude. Like she.
All right, so Sarah Sigmund's daughter, 3rd, 4th, and then 37th, 19th, 21st. So 3 years
focused on that 3rd, 4th. Like, is there anybody else that could compare to that?
Yes. Julie Fouché, 5th, 2nd, 3rd.
Okay. So
that's a recency bias thing.
There's 4 years versus 3, and then it's a harder era versus a softer era. Spin thinks that doesn't matter. So I don't care, Tyler. You can do Julie Fouché or you can do Sarah. I'd probably put Camille in there if you want to too.
I know. I don't want to, but Camille.
She really only had one good year, but it was a great year. So I think it's between those 3.
I want to put Camille because she took the win and the others didn't.
Yeah,
I know. I mean, if Camille
went 9th, 8th, 6th, 16th, 1st, 13th, 21st, 39th, 13th. So she had 4 years in the top 10.
If it was my algorithm and I did it how I wanted to, Camille would be ahead of those girls. But it wasn't. It was supposed to be unbiased. I thought that was very clear.
Camille feels more correct to me than Fouché.
I'd say Camille and then Sarah. But if you want to put Julie, it's fine.
I mean, that goes. It goes to what's more important: 4 great years and you're done, or 3 great years and then some.
That's where I start to weigh wins and placement overall, because it's like not just overall longevity, but like actual event placements.
Yeah, but I mean, Camille made it almost 10 years and won.
Yeah,
versus 4 years of pretty good, not even podium, only podium 1, but like pretty good, or 3 years of a podium area. You know what I mean? I mean, 10 years and 1 win, I think that's better.
My list goes Camille, Julie, but John has pointed out many times that I'm biased towards anything that's pre-15, pre-17.
So Camille 9th, and then we put in Sarah or Julie in 10th.
You guys get the tie break on this.
Ben went Julie.
No, you're the tiebreaker.
You want Sarah?
I have Julie. You have Sarah.
No, Tyler said he wanted Julie. So just put Julie.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Tyler, I don't care. I just want this to end. Like, let's put Julie Fouché.
But...
All right, Spin. I say Julie Fouché. You say Julie Fouché?
Did I win this one? Did I win?
Yeah,
you win.
You're great.
Well, no. When we compare, to the real results.
No, I don't have them. Like, this is
you will
at a later date. No, I don't think I'm done with it.
You
All
will.
Right. I hope everybody has a great day. Show's over. Okay, have a good one, guys.
And he's gone.
Love you, John.
What did I miss? There you go, guys. Let's try Matt over a poll. I don't know.
I feel for him because I went through this and that's what I was trying to say. Like, dude, you know how aggravating it was that everybody became a mathematician as soon as I invented P score or Z score.
And everybody came up with a better way of doing it.
Yeah, and it's like you got to push back. You have to, and it's the fun is in pushing back about it. I do like what he's trying to do. I don't think the problem that you're pointing out is solvable or easily solvable.
Right. No, it goes back to any other debate of two different eras. How do you compare them? I weigh how you did in that era more than relative fitness.
I see in this
because I guarantee we know that athletes 10th place can beat Rich in workouts from 2012. Like whoever finishes in 10th place this year can probably beat Rich in a handful of workouts. If you transport them and said, do all of these same exact workouts from 2012 games, they probably beat Rich.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean that they're fitter than Rich. So that's where I have a difference in, like, it's not that I'm saying that John is like so biased that it's not fair. It's that I have a different opinion as to what I would rank higher when you go to a top 10, all 20, top 25 all time list.
Right.
If you go into putting people into a Hall of Fame, it doesn't matter as much.
No.
Until you say that there's only 3 spots available and there's 4 people that have similar careers.
Spots.
Right.
Yeah. That's
and it goes back to if Fouché and Sigmundsdottir and Camille all came up and you only had 2 spots left to put people into a Hall of Fame, you have to rank them at that point. It's not easy.
That's the thing. I think the Black Keys like protested or not protested, but they just ditched, I think, the Grammys or whatever it is for the music awards one year because I think it was Jackson Brown, but it might have been another artist. They were like, he should get a Grammy before we get a Grammy or whatever it was. And so there's always that thing where there's this recency bias that happens. And it's like, people get skipped over. It's like when Journey gets into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame when it's like 2020. It's like 2020 or something when they finally got in. It was before that, but it's like, how is it they just got in? That this is the thing where it's like, it gets a little weird because technically, like, I value things differently than John values them, and you do too. And so there should be like this group. We all come up with our algorithms and then compare them, but that gets a little like no one gives a shit about 4 different algorithms all predicting the same thing. I like his algorithm overall, and I do think I am sympathetic to his argument because he is right. Like you said, if you put Dallin in the 2012 games, he's going to win. He's going to destroy everybody. But Rich would have trained differently.
Dallin would not be where he was had
Right.
Rich and Matt not been where they were at their time.
Yes. And that's the thing. Like, Rich trained very obviously to beat his opponents, not to demolish everybody like Frazier did. And that's the part where I'm like, Frazier does deserve the number one spot because he beats people so much. And that's where I differ from you, is that with P-score, I do value the fact of how dominant your performances were, even within the era. But it gets tough because Rich didn't play that way. He just played to win, even if it was just barely.
Right.
So it's hard. It's always going to be tough. Sorry that John got his feelings hurt.
It happens. It happens. We tried to kick him out multiple times, and we keep bringing him back. So I don't know. Maybe we'll have to find Barkley or somebody. I don't know.
I figured I would have dropped off the show before John did. So
he did a lot of shows today, so maybe he was just cranky.
Did he?
He did get with the programming. He went straight into Around the Whiteboard, and then he did this show. And who knows if he did another one. So he's got a lot going on. So
he's got
a bit of the doubt. Maybe I should have backed off. I don't know.
Yes, my back is healed, Barry.
Back is healed. Patrick Clark for ranking Jason Smith number 4. That's exactly who Smith was on the men's side.
Chad McKay should have been.
He was. Hey, Jason was. He. If you want a relative strength compared to Africa, Jason Smith would be
number 1.
Number 1. Friday, Tyler is going to try to win a laptop.
I think I
rescheduled.
I do think I got it.
Oh, you think you got it? Okay.
I tested a little bit of it, and I was like, "Yeah, I think I can do this."
Okay.
So
wait, hold on. We got something here. There it is.
I figured you were going to hit the wrong
The unknown
one.
Spin is correct. JY has a bias to total performance and fails to appreciate the challenge of the eras. But the donation is for the meltdown.
Appreciate that.
Man, we've been wondering where the unknown has been, but we appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, he does.
No, I mean, I knew going into this when, do you remember the all-time mountain? Do you remember that?
Yes.
And he put so much onto like how much better athletes today are than what they were in the past. And he put that heavily. And I knew that we were going to clash on that.
Yeah.
Just didn't know it was going to make John leave the show. So anyway, it's been over 2 hours.
You spend hours on this, and you get it's really infuriating when people poke holes in it. But it's part of it. You learn to deal with it. Bryson, what am I saying that's dumb? I've said everything correct. It's probably the best take maybe of all time.
Probably because John got kicked off. It's like, hey, Bryson, why did you jump on the show?
I have only made great points, and everybody agrees with me.
That's right. Or just nobody agreed with John. Friday, 6:00 Eastern. Tyler's going to try to do Friendly Fran in under 7.5 minutes and win himself a laptop. I will be there. John may or may not be there. Tyler will be there, hopefully, to try to win it. Brought to you by Biomax Clinic. So
thank you, Biomax.
But this show was brought to you by Lee Frazier and Frog Grips. Code SPIN. Save 15% off Frog Grips. I think next week the unknown will be the viewer of the week. So yeah. Anyway, thank you guys. We will see you guys on Friday. I apologize to absolutely nobody.